How many of you, well, my mic is really loud now. I can totally hear myself. How many of you, sorry, you keep it in whatever volume you want. I was just surprised. How many of you, and this is a test right now, how many of you have ever received a gift? I think we got pretty much an A+ on that. 100% of us, I think, have probably received a gift of some point, at some point in our lives, some kind of gift. What are these sorts of gifts? What kind of gifts can we get? Stuff. We get stuff, that's true. Anything more specific than stuff? Flowers. We get flowers, that's true. Candy. Gift cards. We get opportunities. That's true. And what does it feel like to give gifts? Feels good. I love it. Yeah. Anyone else? What does it feel like when you give a gift to somebody? Stressful. They may not like it. That's true. That's true. We put a lot of thought into gifts, and sometimes maybe someone goes, "Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've always wanted one of these. What is it?" So giving gifts can cause a range of emotions, but a lot of the time when we give a gift, we're giving a gift to somebody that we love, somebody who's a friend of ours, and there's a feeling of when they open it and they see it is we feel good inside because we've given them a gift. And it isn't the monetary value of the gift. It can be when a child gives you a little made-at-school notebook of, here's coupons. I will help you make dinner. I will take out the trash. It could be anything. It doesn't have to cost money. It can be something that we put thought into. So we also receive gifts. What does it feel like when we receive a gift? Is that different than when we give it? Surprise, absolutely. That was my next bullet in here. The unknown. We don't know what we're getting as a gift. What else do we feel? Oh, awkward. Yeah, I didn't put anything negative down. So like they had the other answer before that it's stressful to give gifts. It can be awkward to receive one, especially if we're not expecting it. That's true. What other kinds of feelings do we have? Gratitude. I heard gratitude. What was over here? Being connected to. It connects us to the person. That's true. Yeah, it can change our outlook about somebody. Oh, they gave me this gift. I never would have expected them to do that. There's also the feeling of mystery and wonder when we receive a gift. When we receive a gift and it comes in a box, and the box is maybe wrapped, maybe it's not wrapped, but wrapped. Think back to when you were a child, or if you are a child, L, you already are this person who, when you get a gift, the wonder that you feel getting a wrapped box and you don't know what's in it, the possibilities are endless. A large box, let's imagine a large box. A large box, you might give a child a very, very large box. To a child, what could be in that box? What could be in a really large box? Elle, will you yell something out? No. She already told me she wasn't going to. A bicycle. A horse. I was going to say elephant. I was going to say it could be an elephant. A small elephant, but an elephant. Horse is maybe more realistic. I don't know. It could be a large animal. You know, we shouldn't put animals in boxes, but to a child, it could be anything. A what? The box? The box is a gift? You're stealing my thunder. The box is a gift. That is true. The box itself becomes a toy for a child, certainly. They get in the box. They cut holes in the box. Oh, I shouldn't be saying that. They do all kinds of things to the box. They color on the box. They close the lid and hide in the box and then jump out at you. They put other things in the box. My son is known to just, in the past, he would put things in boxes, and he liked wrapping gifts. And he would wrap the gifts up. He would bring me the gifts. I would be on like a Zoom call for a church or something, and I would get, this box would come into the camera, and he'd go, open the box. I go, what is it? He goes, it's a gift. And so I would open it, and it would be like rocks. It'd be a pair of underwear. He was like 3 or 4, so he didn't know. But what he liked to do is wrap the gift and give the gift. As adults, maybe we change our attitude about gifts a little bit, right? Gifts are really, really nice to get. But again, we had some examples called out. Gifts are not always a thing. Sometimes they can be time. It could be someone saying to us, I'm going to watch the kids. You go for a mountain bike ride. It could be someone saying, oh, you've been asking how to use a router. I know how to use a router, woodworking thing. Come and learn how. I'll teach you. I'll take an afternoon and teach you how to do this thing you've always wanted to do. I'm going to throw something out there, challenge you a little bit. If you feel like maybe you have a little bit of privilege in your life, that's a gift. That's a gift that you have, that you've been given. Sometimes gifts are small, though. We talked about a big box and what you can do with the giant box and gifts of time and all that. Sometimes gifts are small. They can be things like you get a gift, like I was given this gift. It's a blank book. Now, it's a gift within a gift. The book, the thing is a gift, right? And inside of it is a bunch of blank pages. Well, the blank pages themselves are a whole secondary level gift, where now I have the gift of the ability to write something down on a page, to keep quotes that I find and write them in here. And I'm going to read you one of them. A generous heart is always open. Oh, and this is from Bell Hooks, from Bell Hooks' book, All About Love. A generous heart is always open, always ready to receive our going and coming. In the midst of such love, we need never fear abandonment. This is the most precious gift true love offers, the experience of knowing we always belong. And again, that's from Bell Hooks. So in the book, that's a gift, the physical thing, the blank pages allow me to write things. And then, like the tertiary thing is I can have this quote and I can read it and be inspired. Now, some gifts are really large, like bigger than elephant-sized boxes. Like this church. There's where he's going. This church is a gift. It's a gift that the community, this community, has shared for years and years and years. And you have your historical timeline up there. I knew a little bit from talking to Sanjay and talking to other people over time, and I went on the website and I looked at it, and I know that since 1957, when a bunch of Unitarians came together pre-merger, this has been a community. That community is a gift. It's an internal gift, like amongst yourselves, that community. Everyone here, everyone on Zoom, everyone who's ever visited this church is part of that community. That itself is a gift, having all of you here. But you're also a gift that is larger than that. It's a gift to the external community, the work that you do, the justice work, having a preschool where people's kids can come, and learn and be taken care of in a loving environment. That's a gift. And the people, like I was talking about, both the internal community and the external, if we go back to Bell Hook's quote of knowing that you are not going to be abandoned, that this community is here for you in a place of love. But to get back to this building, as I now know, I heard someone say it today and I verified up there on the timeline, 1977, this building was purchased. Previously, I think, some kind of Baptist church, something like that. Reworked into this space. And now we're all here today. So today, Paul read a verse from the Tao Te Ching. Chapter 11. Oh, the reason why the translation matters is because much like versions of the Bible, depending on who did the translation, you might have really different words. And this is kind of the go-to. Many people acknowledge this as kind of the new revised standard version of the Bible. That's the one that academics use because it's the most literal kind of translation. This is a good mix of poetic writing and good translation. So in chapter 11, as Paul read, 30 spokes share the wheel's hub. It's the center hole that makes it useful. What's a wheel without a hub? What would you do with it? To me, it sounds like something you buy at Home Goods and you put up on a wall in a room where you're trying to create some kind of aesthetic that involves wagon wheels. Because it doesn't actually have a hole in the center. They left that out because that costs too much and they want to make a little more money. But it's not a wheel. It doesn't do anything. It just gets hung up on the wall. Shape clay into a vessel. It is the space within that makes it useful. So you can make decorative pottery and you can make a solid object. And often little kids will do that in art class, right? They make something that looks like a thing but doesn't have the practical application. They're not given a potter's wheel where they can spin it and shape it like in Ghost, the movie Ghost. I'm going back a few years. But, you know, shaping it and creating this vessel that you can actually put things in, and then you can make it beautiful on the outside. But its purpose still exists. And you may never use an artistically created piece of pottery because you're afraid to break it because the art is more important than the thing. But the point is that usefulness exists there. Third, we have cut doors and windows for a room. It is holes that make it useful. So you can have a big empty box. Think about the elephant holding, the horse holding box that's that big and a kid gets in it, a refrigerator-sized box. How about that? If you get in it and it doesn't have any windows cut in it or a door, well, what is it? I don't know. It's like a prison cell, right? Or it's like Schrodinger's cat. You can't tell what's in the box. You can't tell that there's but you have a window, you can look in it. You have doors, you can walk into it. Fourth, the Tao Te Ching talks about, therefore benefit comes from what is there, and usefulness from what is not there. I've pondered that for a long time. Like, what does that mean? And the best I can make out from that is that benefit is what I get from something. Okay, so I don't know. It's I benefit from having the artistic pottery because I can look at it and I can see it. But that's not helping out anyone other than people who have a similar artistic vision to myself. But usefulness is what I do with it. Can I pour water for somebody who's thirsty out of that vase? Can I make a building and cut some doors in it, put doors in and windows so light comes in so that we can see? So usefulness is about what we do with things, and benefit is something else. Benefit is how I feel inside about it. So what do we do with usefulness? What can we do with the gifts that we have? Any kind of gifts that we have. Right? Churches talk about time, talent, and treasure. Okay. We can give time. If we have a skill, maybe we do the books. We're on the finance committee and we help out. If we have money to give, we give money. There's other kinds of gifts we can give, though, and we have to figure out what they are. And church itself is a gift, and we talked about community. We talked about community both within the church, and we talked about the larger community outside of the church. And so as we look around and we see that we have this gift, what do we do with it? We have doors. We can open them. We can welcome people. And I know the reading, the centering words, Paul, that you did at the beginning, they were a little uncomfortable. But when a stranger walks into the church, because we've opened the doors, because we've created that gift, what if they don't believe the same as you do and they sit down next to you? What do we offer them? Do we move over and scooch like to the next seat and hey? Or do we go, oh, hi, how are you doing? Welcome to UU Church in Livermore. Have you been here before? What do you know about Unitarian Universalism? Let me tell you a little bit. So that's the question. What can you do with your gifts? And I'm positing that this church, this community, is one of those gifts. And I'm not asking you or telling you that you're not using the gifts. I'm just asking you to consider that it is a gift, and to think, and to wonder, have that sense of wonder about the gift. And think about when others see it, what do they think is inside the box? What are we doing here? So I'm inviting you to have a blank book, not a real blank book, a metaphorical one, where you think about the gifts that you have and what you can do with them. What kind of usefulness do those gifts bring, and how do you implement them in the world? What do you do with the gifts that you have? How do you live into the world with those gifts? And that's what Unitarian Universalism asks all of us to do, both through the principles and the second half of each source, to have this viewpoint into the world. So that's what I'm asking you to do today. Your homework is to think about your gifts. And it isn't really homework because I'm not grading it and no one's ever going to ask you about it again, but maybe I will next time I'm here. I don't know. Think about your gifts and think about what you do with them in the world. And see what you can do to make the world better with them. Blessed be and amen.